Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Matt Oriente. I'm currently a sophomore studying business administration and sustainability on campus. And this semester I had the unique opportunity to participate in Semester in the City at UNH, where I worked with the UNH Foundation and Prime Buckles to study the evaluation of sustainable investing for the UNH Foundation. And my two mentors were Eric Gross and Kate Duma. So an introduction to my research in the organization I was with. So the UNH Foundation was established in 1989 in order to increase support to UNH through private gifts. So it is the main endowment fund for the university, and then they receive gifts from donors, and then they can thus reinvest that money into different types of assets and equities to further provide assistance to the university. And the main type of investing that drove my research was sustainable investing, and that incorporates ESG, environmental, social, and governance principles, alongside more traditional financial measures. And in December of 2020, the foundation sent out an ESG questionnaire to all of their portfolio fund managers, and those responses were the main material for my analysis. So just looking at the portfolio as of December 31st, 2020, the total value was listed at about $280 million, and that's split between two pools. So there's the main pool consisting at 230 million, then the ESG pool at around 50 million. And all of that money is derived from about 40 funds that are comprised of different types of equities and assets, and all of that makes up the fully diversified portfolio. So there was two main objectives throughout my research. The first was to compile ESG specific information from each investment manager in the total portfolio, and then use that information to determine what percentage of UNH's total portfolio is aligned with sustainable investing principles. So in 2018, UNH scored a 1.81 out of 3 in their STARS Sustainable Investment category. And STARS is the university-wide sustainability ranking that we're currently platinum with. However, UNH can earn the maximum of 3 points available for the sustainable investment category by investing 30% or more of its investment pool sustainably. So just, the initial approach and methodology that I conducted, I wanted to create a rubric that we could analyze all of, the information that comes with, being ESG aligned. So I decided to create 4 categories that were environmental, social, governance, and general acknowledgements. And then within each category have 4 opportunities to earn points. So there's 16 ways to earn points. And then, they were either given full credit, half credit, or no credit based on their, initiatives, engagement, involvement within each opportunity. So then we created an 8-point scale, but this really allowed a lot of opportunities for each firm to be engaged in different types of sustainability initiatives. So then off of that 8-point scale, we wanted to, classify where certain funds landed. So we decided to create 4 types of rankings based on our methodology. So all the way on the left, anything scored less than a 2 would be minimal to 0 demonstration of sustainability. And then opposite to that, if they scored more than a 6, they're an industry leader in that regards. So for the composition of the ESG rankings, here's just where all the rankings land relative to the amount of their monetary value. So you can see that partial engagement, they do have the most weight there, just around $98 million. However, established and industry leader combined, it's a little less than 50%, but still pretty intriguing numbers. And minimal to 0 engagement is the least amount, which was good. But so the process that we took to analyze what percentage are considered sustainable. So all of the funds that were initially part of that ESG pool were automatically deemed sustainable investments. And then we found that there were 8 non-ESG pool funds that proved to be sustainable from the internal methodology. And by sustainable, we mean that they scored above a 4. So the proposed ESG candidates, they made up about just greater than 23% of the total portfolio, sitting on around just above $62 million. So they had a decent weight to them that we could prove if they could be sustainable or not. But here's just a graph that shows the comparison between the UNH Foundation's internal methodology scores relative to prime buckled scores. As you can see there, the points that are circled, the targeted funds that we wanted to propose as sustainable, they align pretty well with the trend line, and that just offered another sense of validation and assurance that these can be considered sustainable investments. And then finally, the conclusion, the 42% of the assets in the total portfolio qualify as sustainable investments. The foundation, excuse me?
Sorry to interrupt you, but I have to cut you off. You're
okay.
level 5, but great we get to
No
see
worries.
you. And
Right.
hopefully as we move into Q&A, folks can ask some questions and that will allow
Definitely.
you to talk more about those conclusions.